One of hockey's greatest stories has been hidden in plain sight for decades. While the sport celebrated its superstars, a man who overcame incredible personal struggles and achieved statistical greatness was quietly forgotten. Dave Taylor, now approaching 70, spent 17 seasons as an NHL cornerstone, but his legacy was overshadowed by forces beyond his control. His lifelong battle with stuttering made him appear withdrawn when he was simply afraid to speak. Geographic bias in sports media meant his achievements in Los Angeles went largely unnoticed by the hockey establishment centered in New York and Toronto. But this isn't a story of defeat. It's about a man who transformed his greatest weakness into his most powerful strength and finally found the recognition that had eluded him for so long. Dave Taylor's journey began with a challenge that would have broken many others. From childhood, he struggled with a severe stutter that controlled every aspect of his life. The speech disorder created such intense fear of public speaking that he dropped a college class when he learned an oral presentation was required. When he reached the NHL and faced routine post-game radio interviews, Taylor would fake hyperventilation just to get through them without the blocking his stutter caused. People saw him as a quiet kid, but the truth was far more painful. He wasn't quiet by choice. He was simply afraid to speak. This fear shaped his early professional life, creating a barrier between him and the recognition his talents deserved. While Taylor battled personal demons, he also faced professional skepticism. Hockey scouts dismissed him as too small to play amateur Canadian hockey. At just 150 pounds, he was considered an unlikely pro prospect. The hockey world had written him off before he even had a chance to prove himself. But Taylor refused to accept these limitations. Through sheer determination, he transformed his body, eventually playing at 195 pounds. His talent at Clarkson University was undeniable. He dominated college hockey, setting records that still stand today. His 251 career points, 98 goals, and 153 assists remain school records. In his final season, he led all of NCAA hockey with 108 points, including 41 goals and 67 assists. Despite his college success, the NHL draft told a different story. Taylor was selected 210th overall in the 15th round of the 1975 draft. Most players chosen that late never see professional ice time. But Taylor would prove that draft position means nothing when matched against pure determination. The turning point in his personal struggle came through an unexpected source. Los Angeles-based speech pathologist Vivian Sheehan entered his life and changed everything. Taylor credits Sheehan with helping him conquer his stutter, a victory he now discusses openly. The breakthrough moment came when Sheehan introduced him to a support group of people who also stuttered. For the first time, Taylor realized he wasn't alone. In that room, nobody could speak properly. Nobody could even say their own name. This shared vulnerability gave him a new perspective and the courage to confront his affliction directly. After 2 years of intensive therapy, Taylor achieved something remarkable. He took something that had really controlled him and turned it around so he had most of the control. The transformation was so complete that he went from avoiding a single college presentation to addressing massive crowds. He spoke at national conventions of people who stutter and received an honorary doctorate from his alma mater. This personal victory became central to his professional legacy. In the 1990-91 season, Taylor received both the Bill Masterton Memorial Trophy and the King Clancy Memorial Trophy. The Masterton honors perseverance, sportsmanship, and dedication to hockey. The King Clancy recognizes leadership and humanitarian contributions. Receiving both awards in the same year reflected his complete journey from private struggle to public advocacy. Meanwhile, his hockey career was defying every expectation. Taylor spent all 17 NHL seasons with the Los Angeles Kings, becoming the lowest drafted player in league history to reach 1,000 career points. He anchored the legendary Triple Crown line alongside Hall of Fame center Marcel Dion and left winger Charlie Simmer. The line was an offensive powerhouse. In the 1980-81 season, all three players surpassed 100 points, with Taylor achieving a career-high 112 points. Over his entire career, Taylor played 111 games and accumulated 1,069 points, including 431 goals and 638 assists. He added 59 points in 92 playoff games, His dedication to the Kings was recognized when they retired his number 18 jersey on April 3, 1995. He was only the third player to receive that honor at the time. Yet despite these achievements, Taylor faced a different kind of challenge. His excellence was happening in the shadow of systematic bias. The hockey media was heavily concentrated in New York and Toronto during his playing years. This East Coast bias meant that players in Los Angeles, regardless of their performance, struggled to receive national recognition. The Kings' lack of consistent playoff success during Taylor's era compounded this problem. While he put up Hall of Fame numbers, his team couldn't provide the deep playoff runs that typically elevate individual players to legendary status. A statistical comparison reveals the injustice of his overlooked status. His line-mate Marcel Dionne finished with 1,171 points in 1,348 games and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1992. While Dionne was undeniably elite, he was one of the top 10 scorers of all time. More revealing comparisons show Guy Lafleur with 1,353 points in 126 games and Bobby Hull with 170 points in 1,063 games. Both are in the Hall of Fame. Taylor's 1,069 points in 1,111 games places him in elite company, yet he remains outside hockey's most exclusive club. The fact that a core member of an iconic, high-scoring line is excluded while his line mate is enshrined suggests that factors beyond performance influence these decisions. His overlooked status extended to individual awards during his playing career. Despite being known as an elite two-way player with a grinder's edge, similar to modern players like Jonathan Toews, Taylor never received serious consideration for the Frank J. Selke Trophy for Best Defensive Forward. Articles from his era suggest his candidacy was overlooked due to apathy. The early Selke Trophy voting patterns may explain this oversight. Winners like Bob Gainey and Guy Carbonneau were known almost exclusively for defensive play. Voters seem focused on pure defensive specialists rather than complete two-way players who also produced offense. Taylor's well-rounded game may have been misunderstood by voters still defining criteria for the newly created award. For many players, this lack of recognition during their career would define their legacy. But Taylor's story was far from over. His post-playing career became a masterclass in perseverance and eventual triumph. After retiring in 1994, Taylor seamlessly transitioned to an executive role with the Kings. He began as assistant general manager before being promoted to general manager in 1997. His front office career was marked by the same excellence that defined his playing days. During his tenure as GM from 1997 to 2006, Taylor became the winningest general manager in Kings history. His record of 290 wins, 261 losses, 74 ties, and 31 overtime losses established him as a successful executive. More importantly, he demonstrated remarkable foresight in building for the future. Taylor drafted the core players who would later bring multiple Stanley Cups to Los Angeles. Dustin Brown, Jonathan Quick, and Angie Kopitar all arrived during his tenure as GM. His contributions laid the groundwork for the franchise's future championships, proving his hockey intelligence extended far beyond his playing ability. After leaving the Kings, Taylor continued his executive career with the Dallas Stars as Director of Player Personnel for 3 seasons. In 2010, he joined the St. Louis Blues as Vice President of Hockey Operations, a role that would provide the ultimate redemption. In 2019, Taylor achieved what had eluded him as a player. The St. Louis Blues won the Stanley Cup, and Taylor finally had his championship ring. For a player who spent 17 loyal seasons with one franchise but never won the league championship, this victory provided powerful narrative completion and redemption. The Stanley Cup triumph validated his contributions in a different capacity. It proved that his hockey knowledge and dedication could lead to the sport's ultimate prize, even if the path looked different than he originally imagined. Taylor's legacy transcends statistics and awards. His story represents perseverance, quiet fortitude, and lasting impact that extends far beyond any stat sheet. He overcame a debilitating speech impediment and transformed a source of shame into a platform for advocacy and professional honor. He became a pillar of consistency and production for 17 NHL seasons, achieving the historic milestone of 1,000 career points despite being drafted 210th overall. While he likely fell victim to geographic bias in his team's playoff struggles, statistical comparisons to Hall of Fame contemporaries provide compelling evidence that his lack of recognition represents systematic injustice rather than merit. His contributions didn't end with retirement. He became the Kings' winningest general manager and played a pivotal role in building championship teams. The crowning achievement of winning the Stanley Cup as an executive offers a poetic conclusion to a life defined by dedication and relentless pursuit of greatness. Dave Taylor's legacy deserves re-evaluation for Hockey Hall of Fame induction. His quiet greatness, built on character, resilience, and multi-decade NHL impact, proves that true excellence isn't always measured by the loudest accolades. Sometimes it's found in the quiet, unrelenting pursuit of a life well lived. His recent openness about these struggles shows that even approaching 70, Dave Taylor continues to inspire others through his remarkable journey of perseverance and ultimate triumph.